Yeah, this is one of the most difficult things I had to, and I still have to face, every time. I have to fly often, leave my house for 1-2 months, my family and everything, but I think it's a part of the job, so, well, it's not easy at all, but, it's music. If you like music, it's something you have to do anyways, you have to tour, you have to do, We meet about 5 days before each tour, 5 rehearsals, sometimes a little more, sometimes less. That's all. I mean, unless if we're recording an album, then we'll meet usually for a month and a half, to write the songs down. They're definitely necessary for the kind of music that we play. Our music is based on bass drums, we need like super clean and very loud kicks, and the only way to go with it actually at these beats, will be to trigger your kicks. I don't find anything wrong with triggering your kit. I would say it's got some good things and some bad things. One good thing will be the dynamics, in this genre, we need like a very punchy and, super clean bass drum, so the sample is going to help a little bit. One bad thing will be it's kind of challenging to play with triggers, because, you discover in reality how clean you are, everything should be perfect, or otherwise, everybody's going to hear it. So to me, it's way more challenging, to use triggers. How do I write my parts? What I'm doing is, every time I get a guitar track, like a scratch guitar, some Nile songs or some of my songs, I always start with guitars anyways. And, when I write music, I imagine drum parts. So this is a little bit easier for me. When I get a guitar track, from Nile, or any band, my first focus will be to hear the songs and again imagine the drums, and then I will go jam with it a little bit. There are some parts that will just flow. There are some other parts that you have to work. For example, like a very difficult lick. You got to practice sometimes, slower and speed it up and get it to where you want. It's a very simple procedure. You're listening to the song, imagine the drum parts, and then you start jamming. If you have the ability to do some demos and listen to the song before you get into the studio, this is something very, very important as well. Well, the focus on raising the bar is a personal thing. It's a personal challenge, I would say. So, do you want to play the same thing? No. You want to get better? Of course. But to whom? Not the fans. I don't think it's the fans. It's not that you have to prove something. This is, for me, this is something very personal. So I want to listen to the new album, my solo album, whatever I do, a session, whatever, and I want it to be better. It's like you got a competition with yourself. This is what we are, and everybody wants to get better. It's a personal thing. You don't want to repeat yourself. You want to get better, and you want to do it for yourself. Sleep does affect anything you do. I mean, even if it's drumming or studying, whatever. So I try to sleep as much as possible when I'm home. Usually I'm very busy, so I just try to sleep as much as I need. Now when I go on tour, because it's, we got a lot of free time, I just sleep all day most times. Life on the road, days are too long, not so many stuff to do, and it gets a little boring. I try to sleep as much as possible. So what I do is I take enough sleep, and when I go back home, I can just start working non-stop again, and so far it works great. No, I don't have any specific diet. The only thing I try to make sure every day is when I'm on tour, for example, I try to eat as early as possible, so I will not go on stage with heavy stomach. That's one thing. And I try to drink a lot of water. This is another thing. Some drummers take drumming a little bit more serious. I mean, not serious, but in a different way than they way it's supposed to. I mean, for example, you know, diet and exercising, and I mean, you know, it's mostly about playing music, not, you know, you're not an athlete, you're a musician. I like to improvise a lot, even, you know, our most well-known songs, you know. Well, this is something my band doesn't really like, which makes sense. But, you know, as a drummer and playing the same song like night after night, sometimes you're like, I want to change stuff, you know, I want to do something different and keep it a little bit more interesting for me. I vote, you know, we have to do this, but always in limits, you know. For example, there are some drum licks and, you know, drum fills, they have to be the same, and you never forget these. But, you know, if it's like a blast beat or something and you place different accents just to give a little bit more flavor, you know, nothing wrong with that, you know, in my opinion. So, yeah, I like changing parts every night, but keeping the very strong parts the same.